Welcome to my channel. I'm playing with some old junk again. This time it's the second part of the HP calculator computer series. I'm repairing the tape drives, and as you probably know, the problem with the tape drives is the rubber drive roller disintegrates, disappears, gets gooey or breaks apart, whatever. And I thought there are a lot of different methods to repair that, and I decided to go the perfect way and to send the rubber rollers to a professional company that restores and, well, they mainly build rubber technical rollers and cylinders, as you can see here. But they also have a service for repairing old rollers and cylinders and stuff. And I thought they can do that, and of course they can do that, but it's a little bit expensive. In fact, I paid $120 per roller. Yes, that's a lot of stuff, a lot of money, but I thought I have to try that. I have to see what the result is, what they actually did, and yeah, here is it. This is what I sent them. There is one roller, a little bit a bigger one, from the HP8525. I hope I have that number right. I also sent the Allen key because I don't know if they have such a small Allen key around. Well, I guess they do. And that's the other wheel from the HP85. And as you can see, the original color is black, and now we have a gray wheel. That doesn't matter, nobody cares about the color. The only problem is I didn't know what the original diameter of this wheel was. I saw that it must go through that hole here. That hole is 12.5 millimeters, or a little bit more than half an inch. So the maximum diameter would be half an inch, 12 millimeter. I decided to go a little bit smaller to 11.5 millimeters. So a little bit less than half inch. I don't know if half inch was the original measure, so if someone knows that, please tell me in the comments. And as we can see, it is exactly 11.5, what I told them to do. Now, how do they fix it? They first remove the original rubber layer. Well, that I have done that in advance. Then they put some new rubber on it. I think that's some kind of rubber hose that they cut a little bit of that. And then they do something that you can do at home. They grind it to the exact diameter. So they put it in a, I don't know, some sort of lathe, and they have a rubber grinding machine that can do make it the exact diameter as you need. They also can cut different shapes into the rubber. Well, here it's not necessary, it's just a straight piece of rubber, but whatever you want, whatever is possible to do, they can do that. That's the mechanism from the 9825. That's the mechanism from the HP85. I start with that because it's a little bit easier to install. So first is the other problem with these wheels is you have these encoder wheels that is attached to the assembly here, and you can't remove that. So whatever you do with this wheel, you must take care to not to destroy this encoder. And I just see it's a little bit dirty, has a lot of fingerprints. Maybe I cleaned that before. The question is how. I think alcohol is a little bit too strong for that. Let's try some window cleaner. This is a pretty mild one, so let's try here. Well, no color dissolves here because there are tiny little strips here, or stripes, well, better stripes, and that's the encoder that measures the speed of the motor. And there is a feedback loop and a little servo circuit that keeps the motor constant, the speed. Question is, how much variation does it tolerate? Because now I probably have a little bit a smaller wheel, and that makes the tape speed a little bit lower, but as long as I record the tape and play it in the same drive, that shouldn't matter at all. Question is, what happens when I record the cassette on one drive and try to read it on the other drive? Well, both my drives have now the same diameter of wheel, so that shouldn't be a problem. But maybe if I find a cassette that came from another place. So the question is, how high do I install that? I think I should go as close as possible, but when it scratches, that's not good. Let's try this. So it's about a little bit less than a millimeter distance between the encoder wheel and the motor body here. And we have these two set screws. Yeah, that looks good. Let's see if it still looks good when I mount the motor here. Must take care of these little wires here. That's a lamp inside that shines through this encoder wheel. And there is a photodiode here on the other side. Okay. Funny thing is, there is also no adjustment for tape speed. There is no potentiometer or something here, at least not on this board. Maybe it's not that sensitive. Well, we will see. Okay, just look at that. Looks like a new wheel in a new drive. Oh, I think that was on top. Most likely, probably, eventually. Yes, that looks pretty much like so. I have two screws left. Two screws that go into plastic, like here. And all the other screws are machine screws with proper threads. Not modified wood screws as these ones here. Okay. Good. Okay. Yeah, and the board comes on top of that. That's why I had to remove it. And yes, the head cable, the black one here, went around like that. That was the same before. Now we have 3 screws for that. Let me see where they are. What I don't understand, all the machine screws here are made of stainless steel, so they are not magnetic. But all the other screws that go into plastic, they are from made from normal steel, and they are magnetic. I don't know why they did that. I just know that DEC, Digital Equipment Corporation, did exactly the same, and it was always a little bit annoying to get these screws in and out, because if they are magnetic, it's much easier. You can take a magnetic screwdriver and the job is done. Okay, I forgot this thing here. Where did that go? Oh yes, that was behind here, everything. The insulation and cable protector sheet. Okay, like so. Yeah, that makes sense because we have mechanical vibrations and we don't want our cables to touch this aluminium sheet here and, well, get scraped and insulation worn off. Okay. How does that look? Yeah, I think that looks good. At least it fits inside the cassette where it should fit. Okay. And this is then HP95B. And well, that was unnecessary because the paper tray comes with the keyboard. I thought I have to remove that. And the tape drive goes here. I don't have to resolder the lamp here because it has a cable that was still attached, so there's no soldering here. Okay, no problem. Well, I have to remove the paper because now I have to flip that thing. to attach the tape drive here. I only have two sizes of screwdrivers, too small and too big. Let's try that size. Oh, maybe better. Okay, I should have installed the PCB after that, but well, it worked. Okay, let's see if everything is straight and even. Okay, so far that works. We only have two screws left. That's for the top cover of the computer. The problem with the tape, with the paper feed here, is it only works forward. So if you want to remove the paper, you have to cut it or rip it apart and move the rest forward, because you cannot go backward. You can remove it with force, but I prefer to do it without any force. At least installing and removing the tape drives on these machines is relatively simple, if you know which screws you have to remove and which not. I first thought I have to remove the entire printer before, and to remove the printer you have to remove this board here, a power supply board that comes with the printer, but it turned out it's not necessary. Yep, feels normal. They are really long, so they must have been afraid that the printer could fall out. Okay guys, I'm a little bit disappointed about you. You watching me doing this and nobody tells me that I forgot to solder the pilot lamp here, or the encoder lamp of this motor. And when I tried to read the tape, it told me timeout. Well, because of course motor doesn't work without this. Yeah, everyone makes mistakes, but if the mistakes can be fixed, they are not so problematic. Okay, do this. That's the way it goes. Okay, let's put it in again. Okay, fix that, soldered the lamp. Now C-tape that, and it says cartridge out. But the funny thing is, if If I push it only slightly in, it works. Until I let go, it says cartridge out. So for some reason the cartridge is a little bit, it sticks too much out, but I don't hope I made this rubber wheel too big.